Hey, what's going on, y'all? This your man Pristine back with another video. So check this out, y'all. So we got a little message here from CNBC. Now this video it may be a little long, you know what I'm saying? But man, rock with me, man. Stick with it until the end, you know, because I'm going somewhere with this. All right, but y'all check this out. For those of you guys that don't know, make sure you pay attention and just listen to this scrutiny that Huawei is under from the U.S. government. All right, so check this out. A $229 smartphone just launched, and the U.S. government doesn't think you should buy it. Is that right? All right. Huawei is selling a new smartphone in the United States priced at $229. Think twice before buying it on Amazon or Best Buy. However, U.S. intelligence agencies have warned against purchasing phones from Huawei. Consider similarly affordable devices from established brands such as LG or Samsung. Things that make us go, So I'm going to go ahead and read this, right? Stick with me. Stick with me. If you're in the market for a new smartphone, you might want to avoid a new device that just launched Tuesday on Amazon and at Best Buy. The Huawei Mate SE, or the Huawei Mate Special Edition, just $229, and might seem appealing with its large 5.93-inch screen, Android operating system, and big battery, but it's from a company that the US government has warned consumers against purchasing products from. Last month, leaders from the CIA, FBI, and NSA, and the Director of National Intelligence said private citizens in the U.S. shouldn't buy phones from Chinese smartphone makers, including Huawei and ZTE. We're deeply concerned about the risk of allowing any company or entity that is beholden to foreign governments that don't share our values to gain positions of power inside our telecommunications networks. FBI Director Chris Wray testified during a Senate Intelligence Committee hearing in mid-February. Wray also said that the devices give Chinese smartphone makers across access or even control over the U.S. Control control over the U.S. Whoa, okay. Where was I at? Control over the U.S. telecommunication systems and provides the capacity to maliciously modify or steal information and conduct undetected espionage. So basically, Huawei and ZTE are being accused of spying on American soil, on U.S. soil. The comments came after AT&T quietly backed out of selling Huawei's new flagship Mate 10 smartphone in the U.S. Huawei denied that it's doing anything malicious. Huawei is aware of a range of U.S. government activities seemingly aimed at inhibiting Huawei's business in the U.S. market. The company told CNBC last month. Huawei is trusted by governments and customers in 170 countries worldwide and possesses no greater cybersecurity risk than any ICT vendor, sharing, as we do, common global supply chains and production capabilities. Wow. So, of all these accusations that continue to pop up against Huawei, for those of you guys that didn't know, you know, Huawei was supposed to sell their new flagship device, the Huawei Mate 10 Pro, which I feel like is the best phone out on the market right now. The only reason why I don't have it is because of the price tag. That's really the only thing that I don't really care too much for Huawei right now. Is last year they sold the Mate 9 at $599. That was the price that it was when it came out. I know some people may say that's a little spendy, but for that particular device, $600, it's worth every penny. Now, again, I have no doubt that the Mate 10 Pro is worth all of the $799 or the $800 plus the taxes that it's asking for, but I just don't want to pay that amount. You know, it's been proven that you can get a good quality smartphone at a much less cost, and so the Mate 10 Pro will be featured on the channel here at Pristine Tech, but I'm not paying $800 for it. All right, I'm gonna wait for the price to drop. I'm gonna wait for it to go on promotion of some sort. I'm gonna get it somehow, some way, but I'm not paying full price for it. You know what I mean? But you will see it here at Pristine Mobile Tech. Now, what do you guys think? Do you guys believe all these accusations about the technology that Huawei and ZTE are using are actually spying on U.S. soil? What about all the other devices in the world? What about all the Apples and the Samsungs and the LGs and the HTCs and any other entity out there, any other phone manufacturer that are making devices that use, cameras and social media, FaceTime or selfies, fingerprint sensors, scanning your biometrics? You think that really all that stuff is more secure than the technology that Huawei is using in their devices? I'm just saying. I mean, things that make us go, my big brother Jay Will, he said something in a video last week, and he was talking about the iPhone X, and people were making ranting and raving about Asus's new phone, the Zenfone the Zenfone 5 and the 5Z, and how it's got the little notch and it looks just like the iPhone X. And he was talking about how a lot of people aren't really educated to the fact that a lot of these companies, they steal patents. They got money, and so there may be another company that may be of a lesser tier than they are that created the idea and is getting ready to put out their product, and then Apple or Samsung or somebody would come with a bunch of money and throw it at them and say, hey, let us get that. You know what I'm saying? It happens all the time, right? And he touched on that. He touched on the fact that these companies, they're conglomerates, Samsung, Apple, personally, I feel like, they're dishing out cash to basically block Huawei for having a huge U.S. existence, a huge U.S. presence. Personally, I think Huawei devices are much better quality devices than Apple and Samsung, and I think Samsung and Apple may feel that way as well, which is why I'm sure they don't want Huawei to make a U.S. presence. You know what I mean? So, there's always, under the table politics and things that you don't hear about or things that you don't see. But I know that these things are happening. It wouldn't be a surprise to me at all. And so all this, government talk about don't buy Huawei devices, don't buy ZTE devices because of, the technology that they use, and they could be spying on U.S. soil, and, go with a more established, manufacturer like LG or Samsung. More established. You guys realize that Huawei is the number 2 phone manufacturer in the world right now. In the world. Now imagine that. Imagine that. Right? Ponder on that for a second. How are you the number 2 major, the number 2, the second biggest phone manufacturer in the world? In the world. And you don't even have a presence in the United States. Not much of a presence. The phones are being sold here. Huawei, they were aiming to get some carrier support, but that fell through because the government poured salt in the game. You know what I'm saying? Slandered their name, making these accusations or whatnot. So now they're back to selling their phones through retailers like Best Buy, Amazon, and that's fine. I mean, if that's how we got to get them, that's how we got to get them. You know what I'm saying? They're not stopping me from buying them. Matter of fact, welcome to the unboxing of the brand new Huawei Mate Special Edition. Forget what the government talk about, man. Let's get this box cracked open. Let's crack this box. All right, y'all. So let's get this unboxing underway. So again, as I mentioned, this is the Huawei Mate SE. This phone was just released today on Amazon and Best Buy. I saw it this morning, placed my order early enough in Amazon, and I was given the option to have a same-day delivery. So I actually got it like maybe an hour and a half ago. I'm pretty psyched about it. So you guys know how I typically like to run down my my unboxings. I'm gonna read the specs really quickly. According to sources, people are saying that this is extremely similar to the Honor 7X. They're just basically saying that this is a slightly upgraded model of the Honor 7X. And so, we'll see about all that, once we get the box open and start poking around with the device. All right. So spec list, here we go. We have a 5.93 inch LCD full HD plus panel at 2160 by 1080 pixel resolution. Okay. We've got an octa-core 4 times 2.36 gigahertz Cortex A53 plus 4 times 1.7 gigahertz Cortex A53 chips CPU. The chipset is also the HiSilicon Kirin 659 64-bit processor, and the GPU is an ARM Mali T830 MP2 with 2 cores. We do have 64 gigs of onboard storage, and as opposed to the Honor 7X, we had 32 gigs. And then we also have 4 gigs of RAM here on the SE, as opposed to the Honor 7X, where we only had 3 gigs of RAM. So we've got 4 gigs of RAM, 64 gigs of onboard storage. We've got a non-removable 3,340 milliamp hour battery. Let's see, cameras seem to be identical. We've got a dual camera setup on the back. The primary camera is a 16 megapixel plus a 2 megapixel camera, which is the same as the Honor 7X. We've got LED and LED flash and autofocus dual rear camera, and then the front-facing camera is also an 8 megapixel front camera as well. Now we do have an SD card slot that expands the memory up to 256 gigs. Let's see. And this is a hybrid dual SIM. This is a GSM unlocked device. I mean, so if you've got, AT&T, T-Mobile, Cricket Wireless, Metro PCS, any other GSM carrier, then it's going to work fine with this particular device. It doesn't rock with CDMA. So if you've got Sprint, Verizon, Boost, Virgin, US Cellular, it's not going to work with those devices. So keep in mind, this is a GSM unlocked device only. All right. Now, we are running the EMUI 5.1 powered by Android 7.0 Nougat, fresh out of the box. The colors that you can get this in is gray and gold. This is the gray color. And let's see, as I mentioned, the price, $229. And additional features, we've got aluminum body design, HTML5 web browsing, octa-core chip, Bluetooth, Glow NASS, LTE, Cat4, computer sync, OTA sync tethering, voice over LTE support, OTG support, 2.5D curved glass screen. I'm just reading this off my little tablet, my little cheat sheet. Huawei Histon sound processor, 3D surround sound, HD voice, smart 18:9 aspect ratio, 5W/2A charge output power. Okay, so those are the specs right there, and it is extremely similar to the Honor 7X. It seems like you're just getting an updated version of the Honor 7X. You're getting an additional gig of RAM. You're getting double the storage, so rather than 32 gigs that you're going to get on the Honor 7X, here on the Huawei Mate SE, you get 64 gigs with memory expansion up to 256 gigs. So let's go ahead and crack it out the box here. Let's see what we got here in the box. Alrighty, so here is the device right here. It's got some heft to it. All right. So here we are right here. 18:9 aspect ratio, like that. And rather than Honor, we've got the Huawei branding right there on the bottom. And this is the silver. We'll go ahead and peel that off. All right, so this is the gray color here. You see the Huawei branding, fingerprint sensor there. There's our dual dual camera setup there on the back. And I noticed that the placement is different. I believe on the Honor 7X, the cameras are more so to the left, and then the flash is to the right of the sensors. I mean, so that's a little different. That's a little something that I noticed just fresh out of the box. But anyway, we'll get back to the device here in a minute. Let's finish this unboxing. All right, so we got the quick start guide here. And as I suspected, Huawei's got a soft shell rubber TPU case. That's always welcomed. Definitely want to be able to protect the investment no matter what we paid for it. If I paid $50 for a phone, you better believe it's going in a case. All right, now this also is micro USB, no Type-C. Here's our wall adapter here. And here is our USB 2.0 adapter cord that goes into the wall adapter for charging. And anything else in the box that we get? Nope, that appears to be it. No headphones or anything. Oh, and here is our SIM ejector tool there. And I'll just leave that on the box. Don't really need that right now. And ladies and gentlemen, that's it. So go ahead and power this bad boy on. I know we got some juice here. Okay, Huawei, powered by Android. All right, y'all. So look, I'm gonna go ahead and pause the video. I'm gonna go ahead and get things set up here. And then, well, let's see how long it takes to boot up. Huawei. Okay. Nice feel to the device. Very premium built. Like I said, the phone, it's a big device. I mean, it's got some heft to it. It seems like it may be a tad bit bigger than the Honor 7X, or a tad bit heavier than the Honor 7X. Okay, EMUI. It's getting booted up. Okay, so language or English. Next, insert SIM card. I'll skip that. I'll do that later. Agree. Agree. Wi-Fi Plus service. Agree. Agree. And let's see now, the Honor 7X, we only got 2.5 gigahertz band, and I'm not seeing. Yeah, it looks like that's the same with the Huawei here as well. So let me go ahead and get my password in. I was hoping that we were going to be able to connect to the 5 gigahertz band for much more speed, but that doesn't seem to be the reality here. I don't even see it popping up. So that's pretty similar to the Honor 7X as well, because with the Honor 7X, you also cannot connect to the 5 gigahertz band. You can only connect to the 2.4 gigahertz band. So we'll go next. And that's the same thing with the Asus here. The Zenfone Max Plus M1, you can only also connect to the 2.4 gigahertz band as well. You can't connect to the 5 gigahertz band. So maybe I'll go ahead and, you know, compare these two devices as well. But pause the video, y'all, for a quick second. Let me get all my information in, and then I'll be right back. All right, hold it down. All right, y'all, so we back in. So yeah, so this appears to be an exact replica of the Honor 7X. As I mentioned, you know, we have the addition of the extra gig of RAM and the double storage. So rather than 32 gigs of storage, we're getting 64 gigs of onboard storage. But everything, as far as what I can tell, is exactly the same. All the, you know, the screen transitions. I mean, obviously it's EMUI 5.1. I mean, so it's also the same thing on the Honor 7X there. So it appears as though, from what I can tell right now, I mean, the difference in price, as I mentioned, I mean, the Honor 7X is $199. This is $229.99. You're paying for that additional gig of RAM and that additional storage by 32 gigs, you know, so you're getting 64 gigs of storage, again, as I mentioned, as opposed to 32 that you're going to get on the Honor 7X. Is that a bad thing? Absolutely not, because what it's going to do, and it's going to give you slightly better performance. Multitasking and things of that nature is going to be a little bit more fluid. The RAM management is going to be a little bit more fluid. I mean, you know, you're going to notice if you guys game, you know, if you're gaming, then when you start to get in some of those more graphically intense, you know, games, and it's going to need that extra boost, that extra, you know, that extra gig of RAM can kick in and really help things keep it moving smoothly and things of that nature. So I mean, it's definitely a welcomed addition, and it's funny how when it comes to the Honor 7X, you know, when you talk about the global version or the international versions, those are the versions where you would get 4 gigs of RAM and 64 gigs of onboard storage. The US always seems to get I don't want to say the dumbed down version, but we always seem to get the lesser version as far as RAM, the amount of RAM that we get and the amount of onboard storage that we get. So it's like, okay, well, if you don't want to order, a global or an international version and, possibly run the risk of the phone not working in your area because it may not support the bands, well, Huawei just released today their version of the device, which is the absolute same, and it's the US version, and you get 4 gigs of RAM and 64 gigs of onboard storage for $30 more. But yeah, I mean, browsing through the OS, everything appears to be the same as far as I can see. Now, I haven't gotten anything loaded on the device yet. Again, big fan of that right there. Whenever you lock and unlock the device, then you've got a different wallpaper to look at, to feast your eyes on. Very pleasing to the eyes. Super, super fast fingerprint sensor. Barely tap, and the phone is open before I can even turn it back over. Boom. Super fast fingerprint sensor. God, I mean, that just makes the fingerprint sensor here on the Asus Zenfone Max Plus just look like again, as I tapped it on the video that I did earlier, but you see how, there's a delay there. There's a bit of a delay. So tap. Okay. You notice, and you can actually see when the screen unlocks on the Asus here. The Huawei, the screen is open before I even flip the phone over. You see how fast that was? Wow. Oh my goodness. Blazing fast fingerprint sensor. Wow. It's impressive. So go to the settings here, and we'll just go down to About Phone. And this is where you guys can see device name. If I can get the camera to focus there. Huawei Mate SE. And then you will see we've got the Kirin 659 RAM, 4 gigs. If you can see that. And we've got 64 gigs of onboard storage. We've only got 48 gigs right now. So the operating system and the bloat basically has taken, a significant chunk of the onboard storage. I haven't loaded any of my apps on the device. I mean, so this is what you're going to get out of the box. I mean, so out of the box, once you power this bad boy on and get it set up, I mean, you're going to have 48 gigs to rock with. You know what I mean? Unless you've got an SD card that you can go ahead and slap in there and expand the memory, which I've got a 128 gig SD card. I've got 64, a couple of 32s, a couple of 16s. I'm good on storage. I'm good. Yeah, so everything as far as the operating system appears to be the same. Scroll down in the middle of the screen to get to your search menu there. Scroll back to just bring things back to its normal orientation. Swipe down. You've got your quick toggles and your notifications. Swipe down again, and then this gives you the rest of your quick toggles. Go ahead and hit that little pin, and you can edit these. Okay. Now, again, 5.93 inch display, basically a 6-inch panel. Same as the Honor 7X. Here is our 8 megapixel front facing camera, ear receiver. Bottom, we've got the Huawei branding there rather than Honor. And then here on the side, we have our power button that also doubles as a sleep button, which also has, there's no texture there. It's smooth. And then we've got the volume marker up and down. Top of the device, we've got nothing. It's clean and smooth. We've got a little noise canceling microphone right there. Left side of the device here is our SIM ejector tray. This is where we can put a dual nano SIM or a nano SIM and an SD card for memory expansion. Here's our 3.5 millimeter headphone jack, USB 2.0 port for charging. Here's our bottom firing speaker. And then again, moving to the back of the device, this is our Huawei branding. Here's that lightning fast fingerprint sensor. And then here is the 16 megapixel rear facing camera along with the 2 megapixel camera for depth information, and here's our dual tone LED flash. So, you know, I noticed that the camera seems to be a little bit different. The flash is on the left side of the camera as opposed to the right. Matter of fact, all right, y'all. So I had to go and grab my Honor 7X real quick, because I just wanted to see. So I actually let's see. Had it confused a little bit. So these are identical. Yeah, that's yeah, these are identical devices, and this is the 7X here, this is the Huawei Mate SE, and even the camera, if you take a look, so I had it confused. I was thinking about another device, but the camera placement is in the it's the same, but I noticed that the Honor 7X, if you look closely, the camera is 2 circles as opposed to the casing that the lens is in on the Huawei SE. So there's a little bit of a difference there. But I mean, same camera placement, same antenna line placement. Everything is pretty much identical. You know, just you've got the Huawei branding on this one you've got the Honor branding. Fingerprint sensors are on the same exact place. Yeah. So, you know, you're just, you know, on the Honor 7X, you've got 3 gigs of RAM with 32 gigs of onboard storage. Here on the Huawei Mate SE, you get 4 gigs of RAM and 64 gigs of onboard storage. So, you know, I'll test these out to see if there's going to be a major difference in performance. Probably not. Yeah. Identical devices, more RAM, more onboard storage. So that's pretty much it, ladies and gentlemen. So you guys already know the order of business in which I do these things. You know, I'm gonna get the phone set up to my liking, you know, rock it out, you know, use it as my daily driver for a little bit, you know, do a dedicated camera video on it just to see if there's any differences with the camera from the Honor 7X. I doubt it, but you know, there may be. So look forward to that. And then that'll be followed up with the full pristine review for the Honor Mate Special Edition. All right. So that's all I got for now, folks. If you guys enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit that thumbs up button. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell so every time that I upload a new video, you'll be the first to get it. Check it out. Give me some feedback on it. Let me know what your thoughts are. Okay. So again, as I mentioned, be sure to like, share, subscribe. I appreciate everybody that's supporting the Pristine movement, subscribing, giving me your feedback, your comments. I learned so much from you guys, man, and so I appreciate and I love all you guys. Let's keep this thing rolling here in 2018. All right, be sure to subscribe to expose yourself to tons of videos that I've done like this one, and stay tuned because I've got much more content to come. All right. So you already know, stay safe, get spiritually fit with Christ. We're definitely living in the last days, and keep it pristine, y'all, in everything that you do. This is the Honor, or the Huawei Mate SE. I'm your man Pristine, bringing me the content. Be sure to leave your comments down below about all these government accusations as well. I'm curious to know what you guys think about that. And if you have a Huawei device, what's your experience been like with it? And what have you guys heard about this? I mean, you know, could what the government is saying about Huawei, could it be true? You know, is there something going on that we don't know about that has the government on their coattail? Let me know. You know, I'm open for discussion. All right. Catch you guys in the next video. Peace.